and record this one. So we are ready to go. So today we will see about this OAuth JWT token, JSON token. So example, let me start few things. And also there is an important website, jw.io. So this website can show you what is inside your token, JWT token. So high level, you will be asking the when you're going to access one API, that time you need to pass a token. That token should be you should get from OAuth server, OAuth provider we'll say. So in here we have a OAuth provider is Azure AD, Active Directory. So I'm going to log into there first thing. So here is my Postman started actually. So here I am trying to access one URL which is deployed in Cloud Hub, where I am passing few headers. So in general programming language also, if you want to call an API, it should be there is a security layer you should pass through. That layer we are talking about. So I will show you how this API works first. Then before that, this is the old token I have. So this token is having few things like this one. So this token, if you closely see, there will be dots, right? This thing is actually decoding this whole token and showing it here. That's all. So this token is having three parts. Even we can decode that one. So how we can decode this JSON web token this way. So decode base64. Just to have an correct understanding, I'm doing this. But it is pretty simple in MuleSoft to enable this JWT token and validate. But in order to have good understanding, this is what. So your JWT policy, a program which will decode this part, each part, and it will go inside the second part and get the token, and it will validate whether this token is given by a valid provider, right? So here you see. So these are the things coming from the caller. So the caller, whether he got the token from the provider, that will come to know after this encryption inside happens. Whether this is provided by that guy, we will come to know that. So this token, what he is given is just encoded token. For now, we will close everything. We'll go back to this Azure side, Azure AD, Active Directory. So we have two different Active Directory. One is on-prem and another. This is cloud-based. So on-prem will have set of corporate users and their username and passwords. It will store, and when you ask, this is OAuth based, right? So OAuth, even it has its own types. Now we are using machine to machine, and the client credential is the one. So where you will see the client credential when I ask, when I procure this token, right? Ah, yeah, he's missing meeting, is it? Okay, yeah, added. So now I'm inside the portal.azure.com. I'm going to the applications, app registrations. So here I have added, yesterday I have added one app which is only enabled now. So this will have a client ID. So this is your client ID, and your secrets you have to add it here. When you press here, there will be a secret, you can add it. So if you want to use Azure AD, you need to go to here, expose an API, and add this application URI. Right, still we are setting up this Azure AD itself in order to have our own application created in Azure AD. So at high level, you need to pass this. First you need to there are two steps. One is you need to procure the token from Azure AD. Then you have to validate them just before calling your API. So the first setup is this one. um, you need to pass client credentials as a grant type, and another two is client secret and client ID in order to procure the token. Right, let me check whether I can procure the token. Yes, I have procured this token, new token. So I have got the token by passing this client ID and secret ID. Where you will get this client ID, you have to go portal@azure.com. So in here, to overview, there you have your client ID, which is this one, and your client secret is this one. This is your client secret. So this starts with 3E, right? That is the client secret. So when I pass, and also how do you get this URL? This URL comes from here. Endpoint. You will have a common endpoint is here. So I'm using OAuth 2. Sorry, this one. In order to procure the token, this one. Right. Now I have got the token. Now I'm going to pass this token and access my API. How can I access my API? This way. So I have a Cloud Hub enabled deployed API where I'm passing this one token as a bearer token, and I'm just pushing it as send. So this is my app. I'm having access to this app. So it is giving me 200, and this is my response. I'm just printing all the attributes inside the Cloud Hub. So I'm able to access it. Now the first step we have seen. How can I get the token and client ID and secret related to that? So now I'm going to log in to Anypine platform where I have deployed my API. There you go. I'm inside my Anypine platform where I have only one API, which is a sample API which will receive a request and it will just print the attributes. That's all. So, so I will show you how my API looks like. So this is the simple API. How can I access this API? Is this way. I have it in here, right? So API new resource, you will get something. Now if I do that, what will happen? It will say that you have JWT token enabled policy. So where you will enable this policy, go to your API manager. So here you go, the policy. It is a out of the box policy. JWT validation. Yeah, this is a disabled policy. You don't no more you need to worry about it. I mean, only this policy is enabled. So I'm going to say edit. So this is a origin. It is from bearer token authentication header, and it is RSA based 256 algorithm. This key is quite important. This setting is important. So this I'm saying, when you have a token, you go and validate here based on this public certificate available here. So if you browse this one, you will have a certificate. So this certificate, beautifying it here. So then I'll open a notepad and it'll show you the need to this one. So this will have certificate which MuleSoft will take it and validate it inside MuleSoft, right? So this is how it is. Here I am skipping the client ID validation. If you are beginner, then it's fine, completely fine to stop understanding this one. Skip client ID means, so whenever we ask our clients to access our API, we will ask them to give the bearer token. This is understandable when by the Azure AD only. There is no relation between this client ID given by this guy and also with the MuleSoft Anypine platform. So if MuleSoft Anypine platform has client ID enforcement policy, then the client ID given by this as part of this client Azure AD is not understandable by the MuleSoft. So what we have to do in that case, we will ask the customer to pass the client ID as well, the Anypine client ID and client secret as well. Once he has a token, the bearer token will be fed here. That will come in the automatic now. So this will come this token plus Anypine platform's client ID and secret. So this is not as part of this policy. So we are skipping this client ID here. So this is as part of JWT validate audience claim. This thing is coming from here. Expose an API and here. This is coming from here. Right? So in order to have apply a security policy, we have seen two things. One is from the provider front. So these are the settings you have to do, and the Azure trial version will be enough in order to do this because you need just an Azure AD. This is not. I think Azure AD is not chargeable. You can create your own trial thing, or you can use this token I'm giving. I'm not going to disable this one for some time, so you can use this validate this token in order to wait. Let me give you the client ID and secret so that you can enable your API which is deployed in Anypine platform using this one. So let me go to the bulk edit. I'll give you this thing. So yes. So what I expect from you is you go and create a client Anypine platform, deploy an API, enable them in the API manager. Now then you go and apply this policy. In this policy, you need to enable what? Only this is needed. I'll give you that in the chat box. Yeah, enable it so that now you are using for also this one. Let me disable this one and show you how this API is first working without any security. So this one I wanted to disable it first. It will take some time in order to push this policy. Actually, whatever you do in this policy is ended up in the cloud up machine. So this will push the change to the cloud up. So your policy will be running in the same runtime where your code is running, right? Hopefully that one you know it already. So I'm going to cut this one and try. Sorry, this is for token, so I have to have it. So this is mine. So I'm going to hit this. Application is working because there is a token, right? So I'll remove this token. I'll say no auth so that the headers will not generate it. Okay, it works now. So the policy is given pushed to this runtime. So I'm trying to access this API in Cloud Hub. Which is working fine. So now I'm going to enable this policy. Going to put JWT validation. I will remove this one and show you how we can work on runtime. Okay. So everything goes same except this one. So here I need to give the path of the key. This key is information I'm getting it from here. From this is again from Azure itself, where you need to find out endpoints. So here you will have a OpenID configuration. So the authentication what we use is a OpenID configuration. It's just not OAuth thing. OAuth will have only tokens, but here we have more than that. More than that in the token. Instead of keys, we will send the token itself. So the token will have some customized information. So this thing, what we are giving to there. That's it. Skip the client ID validation, and this is optional whether you wanted to have this audience claim. So for now, I'll not keep it. Just apply for all the API resources what we have. Applied it immediately. If you go, it will not be pushed. It will take few seconds. Then it will say that I cannot process without the JWT token. Let's give some time. Then here you go. So JWT token is secured. Any questions until now? See, if you understood this one, then you can say you have used. Yeah, absolutely. So now I'm going to try the bearer token. I leave as the previous one. If it is not expired, it should work. It's not expired. It is working. So this is the bearer token we are passing as part of authorization. So I'm going to copy this one and put this one in jwt.io. Yeah, sure. So probably I'll repeat this thing once I stop this one. Stop the recording. So this is what we are sending it from the Anypoint Studio. I mean, from the Azure AD. So Azure AD gives this token. That token is having few things. So to extend this information, right? So what I am trying to do in our Azure AD, they are allowing us to give some client ID. So here I have developed a custom API. I'm going to see this is over JWT out of the box policy. It's over. So I'm going to disable this one now. So I'm going to enable this policy, which is mine, where I have created this one. So this is called JWT to any mapping. I call it. So this is a custom policy, right? So we'll have a template.xml always, where I am looking at this one. So here is the base 64. I'm taking the token. I'm splitting it by with dot, three dots. I explained to you that one. So split by. Then I have taken the first one. So JWT token. I am taking it. So let's put them in the notepad. Notepad. So this will have three dots, right? Let's find out the dot first. This is not having anything. Let me go back again. Let's see what we are passing. So here you go. So there are three dots, right? So this dots, we have to split it. Or let me open this easy thing. Let me show my code. dw.lang.fun. So I'm going to put this payload as. So go to my code and read this. Steal something from here. Let's take this client ID. So there will be no client ID, but headers, right? I'll put this one as payload. That message dot authorization also is not needed. Message. Okay, this needs this view information. View. Yeah. So if I put that, then you got what you needed, right? So from here, I'm asking this. So I'm doing for my company. I'm taking one of the ID, client ID, which is user information. Then I'm having my own mapping in order to have this client. For example, the incoming is a client ID. Then I'm mapping it with the Anypan client ID and fetching few information. Okay, with this one, I'm going to stop the recording.